We're here with Adam Andrasko, the CEO of the USA Artistic Swimming Team. Congratulations on the great result, winning the silver medal at the Olympics. Adam,
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the congratulations. Still soaking it all in. It's been very surreal and hasn't slowed down much life, that is, since the Olympic Games. So over this holiday season, really trying to soak it in and share the joys that this year has brought to us.
Adam, tell me a little more about your role for the USA Artistic Swimming Team. You're the CEO. We want to learn more about it.
Yeah, I'm happy to. I don't know that it's the cool, fun, sexy side of sport that everybody loves, right? That's the competition, that's the Olympic Games. But as a former athlete myself, it is the best way to stay involved. And I get to lead this organization, and I just had my 6th year anniversary on November the 26th. So, as the CEO, obviously what everybody sees is what happened in Paris and at the Olympic Games, and we have a national team, and that's our primary responsibility as an organization to support those athletes in their endeavors to become Olympic world champions, World Cup medalists, all of those things. But underneath of that, we have a pretty sophisticated business to operate from a governance standpoint, an event standpoint, a membership standpoint, a insurance provider standpoint, and that's how almost all national governing bodies are set up. So really, my day to day has very little to do with the national team program. I coordinate with them, manage some sponsorship opportunities like we have with Athletic Cosmetic, but the majority of my day is dedicated to our 6,000 members who come to our events, who need our insurance to operate in a safe training environment. We work on the safe sports side of things on a daily basis, and our ultimate goal is to provide a really good artistic swimming experience in a safe environment for athletes and coaches.
And congratulations on all the momentum. Wow, the silver medal and so much momentum with the moonwalk upside down. And what a great performance. Tell me a little bit more about what was it like for the team? What was it like for you?
So you bring up the moonwalk, right? Because everybody knows about medals. Right? Medals are really unique experiences, and ours more unique because it's been 20 years since we medaled. It's been 16 years since we went to the Olympic Games, right? So, I mean, it was what some might regard as a miracle in some ways. And for us, I mean, we knew where we were trending, and it's a great accomplishment. It is, aside from potentially beating China and winning a gold medal, which was going to be a challenge in itself, it's exactly what we set out to achieve 6 years ago for sure, but at least in the last 3 years since the Tokyo Games. And so that was great. But what you brought up about going viral, you can't predict that. Right? I think that's not even something that was on our radar. And we've swam that routine in competition probably 20 times. And so for us, like, we know it's cool, and it's always kind of an in-venue fan favorite. It gets an extra cheer once they realize, wow, that was the moonwalk upside down. But what it did in the Olympic Games just goes to show what that stage really is. And for it to take the run that it took from the day that we did it, which was the first day of competition for us, the next day it's on the Today Show and being commented on by Savannah Guthrie and Craig Melvin and Al Roker and Hoda Kotb. It was awesome. And from there, it got memes. It became a staple. It was one of the most watched posts on many social channels. So we won and we won, and we're still winning because of both of those moments.
Yeah, congratulations. What a great performance.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm sure the athletes had to train really hard, lots of repetition. What does it take for these athletes to become so successful at what they do?
Yeah, so I don't want to disparage any sport. I don't want to disparage any Olympic sport. That's not my intention by making this comment. My intention is to share just how challenging it is to be an artistic swimmer and how underappreciated it is. It is the toughest sport to train for in the Olympic program, and quite arguably the toughest sport to train for that there is. Uh, Obviously, I know there are other sports that are very challenging. You talk about Ironmans and things like that. Those are big endeavors and big commitments. But our team trains 6 days a week, minimum 6 hours a day. in pool, out of pool, on land, strength training, endurance training, choreography, and to get three routines as the team did in a precise fashion to be elite world championship Olympic silver medal quality. You train really hard. You're really creative. You're really connected. You have to like each other because you spend a lot of time together. And I'm a Division II college football player here, really committed to that sport. When I was in college, Dominique, I know you were a tennis player, really committed to that. What it takes to spend 6 to 8 hours a day with your teammates, 6 days a week, 365 days out of the year, basically. Um, that's a lot. It is a challenge, and to do what we did is special. But those athletes put everything that they had into it. So did the coaching staff.
Tell me a little bit more about the team. How many athletes on the team, and how do they get selected to be on the team?
Yeah, so we are in a new quad now, and there's a new group of athletes. There's 14 of them, but previous, and because we're talking about the Olympic medalists, there was a team of 12. And this is one of the biggest celebrations I have as a CEO is while every athlete on those 12 could not qualify for the Olympic Games, every single one of them went to the Olympic Games. We can only take 8 athletes to the Olympic Games. That's what can compete. And then there's a ninth athlete who serves as an alternate in the case of an emergency, injury, illness, something of that nature. Right? So we had to essentially cut 4, and then 3 wouldn't be a part of the program to go as a part of the delegation. And we committed to everybody that they got us there, right? Every one of the 12 swam at the World Championships in Doha that qualified us for the Olympic Games. And so they all went, but that group of athletes qualifies through a selection process. We refer to it as trials. We have trials every April, and we build a squad. We'll build a squad of up to 25, 30 athletes, and we'll select down to between 12 to 16 of the best athletes in the country. And then those athletes will compete. And in this case of this last quad, they competed for a little over a year together and trained together for a little over a year in full-time training. And then we had to make a really tough decision to select the best 8 that we felt gave us the best opportunity to win a medal. That worked out, but there were some sensitivities in there. Right? This was the first Olympic Games that a male could have participated in the team event. Bill May is the most decorated male artistic swimmer in the history of the world and one heck of a human. He put his heart and soul into all of what he did. It just wasn't lined up right. The timings of males, the process for us to qualify, it wasn't an easy endeavor for Bill. And that extends to the other 4 athletes who didn't quite qualify. There's struggles or connections or issues or their ability levels just weren't quite there. Again, we're trying to find the best 8 athletes in the country to compete against the best 8 athletes the rest of the world has to offer in their own respective countries. It's hard once you get down to that level to select a team, and the emotions were challenging. But coming out of June 7th, we as a staff and organization knew that we had a really good team, and I'm glad, very glad that we were able to prove that.
For the team to be that successful, to win a silver medal, you explained to me that the coach plays a very important role. Besides the coach, what else is so important for this team to be so successful? And also, how does the coach play such an important role?
Yeah. So in our case, I'm never shy about calling her the best coach in the world. Andrea Fuentes started the same day that I did in 2018. And she's now the head coach of her home country of Spain, which is unfortunate, but for her, really fortunate, especially after our success, she earned it. But Andrea was never a coach before, never a head coach, I should say. And I would say we took a little bit of a chance on her as an organization. I think the organization took a little bit of a chance on me at the same point in time. And we fulfilled the best of our abilities together and as a group. But what it really takes is that coach to set the standard. Right? It takes the CEO to set that standard. This is what the expectation is. And then care within that standard. That's what we talk about, myself, Andrea, our organization, is care before you coach. And if you start there, we're all going to be okay. And then you build the athletes to the standard that you need them. And in the case of the national team program, we need them at an extremely high level of ability. And we did that. How we did that is a lot of moving parts, a lot of committed people. I mean, the head coach is the one that has the heavy head and wears the crown, right? Like it's the same in almost every sport where if the team doesn't do well, it's the coach's responsibility. And in this case, the team did well, and it's the coach's responsibility. And she got those athletes, her and her coaching staff, Lara Teixeira, at points in times, Anna Volosina, Megan Azebu. There's people that committed their days, their lives, but none more so than Andrea. Very committed to that, and she got the most out of the athletes. And then that's a testament to the athletes, right? To spend that much time together, to build a team culture that felt comfortable, that they were enthusiastic with each other, could get along. Just get along alone, right? I mean, I've been in a team culture. You, as a tennis player, not a team, but there's people that travel with you a lot, that train with you. That it's like it's hard to get along sometimes. We had that team chemistry, and that's again testament to Andrea at the top of that pyramid, but everybody else that supported it from the foundation up.
Daniela Ramirez's Instagram and TikTok, she's really grown as an influencer. So she's a great athlete, great influencer. Anita, Kiana, how important do you believe is image for these athletes?
What they do is the image for our sport. And as a niche sport, that's what we need. We need as much publicity through as many channels as we can possibly get. So that's my selfish PSA for artistic swimming and USA artistic swimming. But for them as athletes, I don't pay them a living wage. Right? The Olympic Committee doesn't pay them a living wage. We're getting better at it. Don't get me wrong, but they live in LA. They have to have that level of influence, that level of opportunity, that level of financial support through those channels. And what I also think it does for them is it gives them a really good outlet, right? A really good connection to people that care about them. In our sport, it's a pretty safe space. And what Danny's been able to achieve primarily through taking gel out of her hair via TikTok has been incredible. And the way that she has worked to expand that while maintaining a full-time commitment to artistic swimming and going to college at UCLA, it's impressive as to what kind of young woman she is.
Talking about image, cosmetics, makeup really is important for all these athletes.
Yeah. So female athletes alone, right? Like that's a traditional component of what they do in sport is they want to look good, feel good, play good. I think I can say that for men too. But in our sport, it is a part of the program. Right? We wear makeup in every single routine that we have, and it adds the artistic components, a portion of it, to what we do. And so to dismiss what cosmetics mean to our sport would be silly. It's basically like saying we're not going to practice this day. We have to have that commitment, and partnering with Athletic Cosmetic has been a joy. And I think our athletes really see the value not in just what they're putting on their face, but the value in your organization and what it means.
What is your biggest challenge and how do you handle this challenge?
This is the same for almost everybody, and it's money. The biggest challenge is money. For us as an organization, again, I've used the word niche, you've used the word small. Everybody who thinks, a lot of people who think about Olympic sports, they see a professional sports component to it. We are very amateur sport based. And so to have a funding mechanism of $2.5 million to run multiple national team programs and run events and pay full-time staff, it's a challenge. How do we do that? We run very lean as an organization. We are creative in essentially every single thing we do. But the fix is to identify and make more money. And the hope is that we continue to grow partners, we continue to grow publicity, we continue to grow notoriety, which increases membership, which increases sponsorship, which increases philanthropy. That's what we're aiming to do.
Most USA artistic swimmers Do they live in California or do they live in different places?
So our team, which I love our team for so many reasons, but there's a diversity within our team that has been unique even to the US. They're diverse by race, they're diverse by culture, they're diverse by geographic location. And that excites me a lot. For all of aquatic sports, and we're no different. The state that reigns king is California, and then there are states in the South where there's more pools, more opportunities for swimming that have connections to it. I live in Florida, right? There's a lot of pools in Florida. Daniel Ramirez, Floridian and national team Olympian silver medalist, but of that Olympic team, I mean, Anita Alvarez is from Buffalo, Kiana's from Seattle, Audrey Kwan's from Seattle. Megumi Field originally grew up in Delaware and trained in Pennsylvania, moved to California later in her life, but there is certainly a strong California contingent. That's why we train there. Our connection to LA, not just for LA 28, but for a lot of things that it provides us is important. But I'm really happy about the fact that we come from a lot of different places around the country.
For those who would like to become part of the team one day, how often do you recommend they train? Should they train every day like most sports, or what do you recommend?
Hey, I have a philosophy around sports specialization that is have fun as a kid and do the thing that you really enjoy and do it as much as you can, right? Sometimes you might not want to, but as much as you can. And that's important for me in my philosophical endeavors. I do think that that makes the best athlete. And I will say that if you try to train artistic swimming 6 hours a day, 6 days a week, or even 4 hours a day, 6 days a week from age 8 on, you get burnout. There's almost no doubt about it. There's unique individuals that might not, but in most cases they will. And we see it across a lot of sports. It's not just artistic swimming. So there's not really a ability to train that much in artistic swimming, just because pool time is challenging. But get involved from as early age as you can. Get involved and then hone your skills. And we provide enough opportunities as an organization. Clubs that are training at a high level, they provide enough training time and enough focused energy in training time. What I'll say is, a lot of the best swimmers in this country are competing collegiately. They're restricted to 20 hours a week. Is that enough? That's a debatable conversation too for athletes that are that elite of a level, but that's where they're at, and that's how much they're training, and they're getting better. They're developing. It's when we're talking about elite level athletes, right? We are talking about this is committed. This is your job, really. So to train 6, 8 hours a week as a youth athlete, not realistic. And it shouldn't even be a thought. To train that much as a aspiring Olympic silver medalist or Olympic champion is a necessity.
And you just had the Masters event, and there's lots of athletes also that just enjoy the sport.
Yeah, and that's what sport should be, right? Sport for life. We all want to play, right? We want to at least relive our dreams, or we want to keep a sense of the thing that makes us happy, and gives us a little extra joy in life. Whether you call it a hobby or you call yourself a master's athlete, whatever it might be, that's that opportunity to continue to compete, continue to have friendships. That's what the Masters Championship is all about. Yeah, we had the largest Masters National Championship here near me in Clearwater, Florida, about 2 months ago now, and it's a joyful event because they're there, yes, to compete, yes, to win medals, but really to talk about the glory days and connect with each other and relive what the last year looked like because they haven't seen each other in a while. To compete with their local teammates who they've trained with 2, 3, 4, 5 hours a day in the lead up to that competition.
Oh, very interesting. Adam, thank you. It was great having you on the show.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Always, Dominique. Thank you for your partnership with us. I hope that a lot of people get attracted to artistic swimming and athletic cosmetic because of our relationship. And I look forward to the next year and well beyond. I know that we're all looking to LA 28. There's a gold medal to go get there.
Yes, the gold medal. Good luck.
Thank you.